And now for my final act of daring do for custom brushes. We're going to create a custom brush out of a picture. So I'm going to hide Photoshop temporarily. Of course, it would help if I hit the right keys, right? And go to my browser, which is over here. And I'm going to borrow, just like I did in class, this picture of Obama. And I'm going to view the image there. So it's a little bit more high res, but it's actually pretty low res. It was scaled up, obviously. Now we could right click or control click and save the image to some place. I don't really want to make it a desktop picture. I tend to like to just drag it from my browser and drop it on my desktop. That's handy. And then I'll just go drop it on the Photoshop icon. Where's my Photoshop icon? There it is. And it shows up there. Now, when we created our Cheeto, which I still have here, the Cheeto was all black. It was a painted black mark. Now that's important, and that's why I also use this particular image here, because this has lights and darks. Okay. Now it's really the darkest part that make the best part of the brush. Okay. The white, like the white on our Cheeto area, outside the Cheeto, really didn't pick up any color when we told it to be red. It was just the black part. Okay. Here we've got a slightly different thing, and I'll explain this as I go along. But I'll do the same trick I did before. First of all, I'll select everything. So Command A. Obviously that's Control A on the Windows side. And the same thing happens here. Edit menu, define brush preset. I'm just going to use the name that's there. We'll just call it Obama Smoking. And there's my brush. There we go. And that's it. I don't even need this picture anymore. Now I'll go over here to this particular window where I had my 11 by 11. And I'll go to my brush, and I will choose the Obama brush, and there it is right there. Now when I go back in here, you can see that we're going to do the same trick we did before. We're going to space this out, because right now it's just, I mean, even though my brush looks like it's the Obama face, you know, it's definitely there, but it kind of makes a mess. So I'll hit Command Option Z a few times and get rid of that. So let's go over here, and we will click on Brush Tip Shape to space this out. And I'll put that around 104%. Now when I click and drag, I get all kinds of things like that. Pretty neat. Now this is what I was talking about earlier. First of all, what you see over here, this is how Photoshop really sees images. It sees the tonal values. It does not see the color. Okay? So, as you can see here, the blackest part of his hair takes on the color that's most solid over there. Okay, the white part, which is where his collar is, really takes on no color. Okay, the various various shades of tones in his face take on various shades and tones of whatever color we have chosen here. So that's important, so that when you make your brushes, that you make sure that they create the tonal value that you want. Okay. Now, so far we've only done one thing. We've just changed the spacing. So I'm going to hit Command Option Z, make that go away, and we'll do some of the settings we did before. So Shape Dynamics, we'll crank these guys up again so that we get some various sizes. We'll rotate, so he'll be in any amount of crazy rotation that way. We will flatten his rotation out so you can kind of see how that looks. That looks nice. Scattering. Actually, I'm just going to use the same scattering values we had before because we just turned that on this time. And then color dynamics. Now, again, we're pretty much going to stick with most of the same settings. We could probably turn up the hue jitter. Now, at this point, red and white is not going to create much. It's not bad, but let's create a maybe slightly different set of values here. Let's maybe try some blue as our foreground color chip, and as our background color, maybe we'll just do something in the opposite range, kind of in the orange. And now when we click and drag, it's not too bad. We can actually crank this hue jitter up a little bit more and get some wider tones, or some wider color values. Now you notice some of this is actually kind of desaturated. So let's change the purity value and push this towards the positive side. Let's clean this up here, Shift F5, and try this again. And now we get some more fun colors. So again, you know, your mileage is going to vary when you play with these sliders some. So we might crank up that saturation even more. And again, you see how the machine is slowing down. But you get some fun pictures that way. And you know, what have I said in class? What can you make a brush out of? Anything.